You've landed in the Dream Gardener podcast. Through storytelling from the amazing guests I interview, you will learn how to gather, plant, nurture, and reap all the benefits of pursuing your dreams. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome, everyone, to the Dream Gardener, and I'm Barbara Donis, your host for today. Well, your host. I came up with wanting to do a podcast on dreams because I think dreams, most of us have never been told to pursue your dreams and it's the right thing to do and they're really important. And I'm not talking about just like following your dreams to make it be a career. It can be just something you've always wanted to do, something you've always dreamt of doing, a place to go. You've always wanted to try ballroom dancing or whatever it is, whatever your dream is, whatever size it is. And I believe that our dreams hold a lot more significance to us and also to the whole world than we realize. And I've been fortunate enough to meet some awesome people that are pursuing their dreams. Some of them are doing it for a career, some it's a hobby, some it's just an interest that they've got. But the whole point is that they're doing it, and they had steps that it took for them to take that leap of faith and to give it enough time to nurture it. So today we're going to be talking to Bill Mylan, who has, well, I'm going to let him tell you, but I'm not going to spoil it. So I'm going to bring Bill on, and Bill, I didn't want to say what I almost said what it was, and I'm like, no, I don't want to disclose that right now. So don't say what your dream is or what you're doing right now, okay? So welcome. Thanks for making the time today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm really excited. So one of the questions that I ask people is, I want to find out like what your life was like. I don't know of how many dreams. We're getting to know each other really. So
Sure.
I don't know how long you've had this particular dream, if if you've already had some dreams that you've already brought to fruition. But I'd like the audience to be able to get a feel of who you are, what your life has been like, and then without telling your dream yet, just lead us up to that point.
Okay. So my journey probably began when I was a little kid. Um, Always spending a lot of time with my mom and my father. Um, Lots of guidance from them, lots of just, I guess, learning what they do and what they did in their life and how to push forward. I've done a lot of different things in my life. I've explored all different avenues of work. Um, think one thing that always stuck with me was my father telling me when I was young to find something that I loved to do and that I really enjoyed,
Ah.
and it would never really be like work. Be like never working a day in your life if you find something you love to do.
So
Oh,
can I ask what your parents did?
my mom was a jack of all trades, for lack of better words.
Mm?
She did everything from cooking to auto body work, waitressing. Um,
Wow.
yeah, So, and my father was a dumpling maker as I grew up.
A dumpling?
Um, yes,
Okay.
he worked for Chateau Dumplings in Cicero, Illinois.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he worked there for until I was like 18 years old. Um, so, it, my father was just always in the cooking business, and I think it just kind of stuck with the dream of becoming a cook, I guess.
I was gonna say you can open spill the beans. um, what I was what surprised me is your parents telling you to follow um, to do what you loved, because you don't hear a lot of parents saying that.
Yeah, that
Um,
was that was one thing my father always I can remember him saying it all the time, like do something you like to do. He would come home and he didn't like his job. To be honest, he didn't like his job. He didn't like his boss. He would always come home and tell me, dude, do something you love to do. Don't just get a job. Don't keep, just to have a job. Find something you love to do and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've discovered that cooking is what I love to do, and more so barbecue, creating recipes for barbecue.
Okay, and how awesome is that? We just got to try some awesome. I mean, it's like a tradition, a ritual. It seems like for summertime, especially to like kick it off with the barbecue. Okay, so tell the audience what, because I found out like what you said happened a couple years ago, how it was going to go. One thing I'd like to also have be explained in the process of how you've come across your dream is sometimes there's setbacks. Sometimes there's things that you weren't planning on, or things aren't going the way they were supposed to go, or how you had them planned. And I really want our audience to understand that that's just part of the journey. And that's what, okay. So you had like a real, like, little zinger that just, and tell us about it.
Well, so this whole journey, I would say, started like 15 years ago
Oh,
when
wow.
I got my first kitchen job. Um, it was it was honestly a job at the time. I just needed a job. I got a job, and I started cooking for a place called Munchies in Justice, Illinois.
Munchies.
Yes, it was called RJ Munchies, and it was honestly just a hot dog and beef stand, nothing in particular. But you pick up little things everywhere you go. So there's little stuff that I learned there, and I took them to the next place, and it was just a journey that continued. I ended up on the road traveling with a barbecue company for a while, and I came back to take care of my son, and so I've been in Chicago for a while now, working a couple different barbecue positions, and finally I was able to be in a position to do pop-ups and festivals, and I thought that I was about to move into an actual permanent location,
Okay.
and it ended up not working out well.
Mm,
um it kind of got the property got sold, and I was unable to move into it, so I
okay.
continued what I was doing and just stuck with it, kept patience, kept working hard, and I ended up with my own barbecue place now.
Okay, and one other thing, besides that, the building being sold that you were originally wanting, this also happened prior to COVID or right at the beginning part of COVID, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So COVID shut us down for almost a whole year. We were only able to do one pop-up all through 2020, which really hurt us.
Wow.
Um, but again, there's always going to be setbacks, and it's how you react to those setbacks and how you move forward in your life and your passion and your dream. If you decide that that setback is just your limit, then you're not going to go anywhere. But if you continue with your dreams, you continue with those opportunities, have patience, work hard, you'll get to where you need to be.
Okay, so you had the patience, you put in the time, you worked hard, and when you got this new place, how did that compare to the other place that you were originally really wanting to have?
Honestly, this is a much better opportunity. I have more equipment, more space. Um, we kind of already have somewhat of an audience, being that it's in a bowling alley and a bar.
Yeah, that
So
sounds perfect.
that helps. Yes, that helps big time.
Yeah.
So again, you know, sometimes you think an opportunity is right, and that opportunity may come and go,
Hmm.
but it's for a reason, I think.
Yeah, and you got to find out what that reason was fairly quickly. I mean, not overnight, but you still had to just hang in there and keep plugging along, and eventually the purpose was revealed. Yeah, so that's a happy ending with that. So I'm really excited that you got a place that's even better than what you were hoping for. Um, so um, so when you have a dream, how do you know that that's something that you really want to pursue? How do you like how is what was that? Siren?
That was a fire truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It sounded like party, those blower
You know,
things.
honking as they go past to let me know, they're thinking of me.
Okay. Um okay, so I was wondering, like, with dreams, you've got these thoughts. I would imagine thoughts are just cuz for me, like, ideas just come in and out of my head. I might not even be purposely trying to think of a dream, but I'm doing something totally unrelated, and something sparks an interest in me and I get this idea. How does it how for you, however those dreams bubble up in you, how does it feel in your body, or how can you tell that that's something special to pay attention to?
Um,
Does that make
I,
sense?
it makes sense. I just so barbecue came as like a second nature to me. When I think about barbecue, I just have a passion for it. I have a love for it, and it's always something that has come relatively easy for me. Um,
Your face just
so
lights up just saying barbecue.
it really, it's one of those things where when I found out about barbecue and that I could cook barbecue and that barbecue was something that is an individual thing, I think everybody has their own taste for barbecue, their own individual, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Their own individual taste for it, I guess is the best way to
Preference.
say it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's many different ways to do barbecue. Everybody has their own way. Some people might use sauces, some people use rubs, so it's one of those things where it's just really is a passion that a lot of people can pursue. And for me, I found an avenue and I was able to learn from some of the best barbecue cooks that I've ever met and probably around. Being able to travel with them and learn from them was a big help. And seeing the way people's faces light up when I serve them barbecue is also, it's an unimaginable feeling, really.
I bet you had us smiling the other day when we came and picked up our order, and then everybody that we brought the barbecue to, because they weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
They were like, "Wow, barbecue!" And it was ribs, so yeah, they were really surprised. So it's like an easy way to impress people too.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's not, it's one of those things where you're not trying to go overboard and impress anybody, but
It
just with simple things, it happens.
Right, right. Well, it's something that takes time. I mean, as far as the barbecue goes, it takes time to
Yeah.
do. And you need to know, for a good barbecue, you need to know what you're doing. Um, but as far as, like, so you enjoyed cooking, and then you must have just hooked up with some other people that were barbecuing, and that's what sparked.
I uh I always had a passion for cooking on grills, not so much directly barbecue as we call it now, but cooking on grills and like the backyard barbecue. I just so happened to move to Lafayette, Indiana, and got hooked up with a barbecue company there, and that's where the true passion, they made me a pit master there, and the true passion began, and I just continued it from there.
So do you find, like, when you went to Lafayette, was that something that was like, things just start aligning for you, like opportunities just open up that weren't there before? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So I've always tried tried to like grasp onto something in my younger years. of what I wanted to do. And nothing ever panned out. I did construction, I did auto repair, I did florist. I even attempted florist work,
Really?
and yes, nothing panned out for me. And I ended up, we were living in on the south side of Chicago at the time. We moved from Chicago to Lafayette, Indiana, because we had some friends there.
Okay.
And we moved down there, and I was looking for a job. I found a job at a barbecue restaurant as a delivery driver. And it was a way for me to get my foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
I started as the delivery driver, but they gave me like 1 day a week where I could work in the kitchen and help them prep and do stuff like that. They seen how well I was doing with all of that work. So they hired a different delivery driver and put me on full time in the kitchen.
Wow. So how
So
long? Okay, so when you got hired as the driver, how were you feeling at that point? Because it
I was
sounds like,
grateful to have a job.
okay,
That was pretty much it.
but were you also hoping that, ooh, what I really want to do is be on the grill there?
Absolutely. I of course wanted to be in the barbecue business of some way. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
know what potential I had. I didn't know how far it would go at that point, but I definitely wanted to be cooking at that point, and I
Okay.
definitely wanted to be in barbecue. So,
Okay. So you got your start out with driving, which,
yeah,
I mean,
it was
that's
like the matter of weeks that I was a driver, and then they put me in. So,
so it just shows for people to be persistent, like
yes,
getting
absolutely.
whatever, even if it's a whatever job you're getting, not even
You have
related
to
to.
start from the bottom and work your way up, and that's what you have to do.
Right.
And that's one thing I think people are missing nowadays is the fact that sometimes it's okay to start from the bottom and not start in the middle or at the top. Like,
Mm-hmm.
work your way to where you need to be.
Right. And like just trusting that, you're in the right position. I mean, if you're not trusting that you're in the right position, then you're going to be left frustrated, and disappointed that you're not at that other level that you think you should be. But maybe there's a reason.
And believe me, there will be plenty of disappointments along the way. Even if you're in that position working your way up, there's going to be disappointments. But again, hard work and persistence and showing people that you want to be where you want to
Right. Yeah, I don't want to give people the wrong impression that because you're following a dream that, oh, the red carpet's laid out and it's just easy peasy and everything, nothing bad happens and there's no struggles. It's like, no,
be. No, you
they're
definitely have to work towards your dream
okay.
and make it work.
Yeah. Awesome. I want this to be real.
Right?
um okay, well then, um gosh, you just made it so easy with explaining what okay, so talking about obstacles, can you give an idea of like what one of your obstacles, well, you already did with the building that you're in now, but another obstacle that was just trying for you and yet you still persevered?
Um, well, I've never been like wealthy monetarily, I guess, like financially. I've never been wealthy. So everything that I've gotten, I've had to work for and like purchase on my own. So for example, my smokers that I use every day, they came from like busting my butt to make a few bucks and go out and buy a smoker. And my second smoker came because my truck broke down and I couldn't afford to fix the truck. So I sold the smoker to buy, or I sold the truck to buy a second smoker so that I had a way to make income, pretty much.
Wow. Wow. What did you do about the car then? Did you?
Well, I was able to get myself in a position with doing like the fairs and festivals and everything. To now, I just last July I bought a brand new 2020 Ford Fusion.
See, things work out.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So it sounds like also you need to be willing to let go of how you think things are. Make sacrifice. Obviously, make sacrifices.
Adapt and overcome.
That's a good.
adapt and overcome obstacles.
It sounds like you could write a book.
I have lots of stories about a lot of experiences. So a lot of my barbecue experience I spent on the road traveling, like all up and down Indiana, out to Pennsylvania, up to Sturgis. And a lot of that, you're out on the road and you don't have like a maintenance, like a local maintenance guy to call for any repairs or any fixes. So you learn to adapt and overcome a lot of obstacles. Um, you're not only a cook when you're out on the road, you become a full utility man. Like a
Wow.
fryer breaks down, you have to fix it. It's not, you can't just call, you
Yeah.
know, Joe's repair service and have Joe come out and fix your fryer.
Yeah. I
You're,
don't think.
you're in the
I
middle
don't
of a
think
repair.
AAA doesn't have a service for
No,
fixing that, right?
no. So a lot of it, like I said, is adapting and overcoming whatever gets in your way. You need to figure out what your next step is and, what your priorities are.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're very clear on that and just being unstoppable in just and I wonder that must so much of that being unstoppable and overcoming things, it seems like it must be I don't know if it's easier, but when it's you following your dream, it must be easier to do because it's connected to who you are as a person.
Yes. I think the fact that I love to do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love to feed people. I love to put smiles on people's faces. So when obstacles come up that could prevent me from doing that, I figure out a way to get around that and make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know, that's just something that was always put into me by, like I said, my parents, my grandparents.
It sounds like a knee jerk reaction for you. It's like,
Yeah.
of course I would do this. Why not? Um,
I've, I've
so
been
is
put in
there?
many positions to have to overcome.
So you are not only the pit master, you're the obstacle master.
I
The
guess so.
yeah, wow. Well then, okay. So is there okay? So had you had you not followed, I'm going to ask kind of like a hypothetical question. And since you've had traditional jobs where you're just working for somebody and it's just something to pay for, for a paycheck, how do you think following your dreams, like what is one or two benefits that you can see that you've experienced in being able to follow your dreams versus just getting that paycheck and just going into work?
Um, well, the fact that I can get up every morning and say, okay, it's time to go to work again and do what I have to do. And it's not for someone else, it's for me. That's a big thing is making your job work for you. I think a lot of people really just work for their job and they get caught up in that whole mix. I think
Mm,
when you make your job work for you,
mm-hmm.
it helps you want to get up and do it. And that's a big benefit of following your dreams because if it's not a dream of yours, if it's not a passion of yours, you're going to get up and you're going to feel like every day is a Monday going to work.
Yeah, and Monday's got a bad rap. Poor Monday.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
We're having a good Monday.
Yeah, I know. I used to have Mondays off. It was like my favorite day to have off just because it felt like a weekend and everybody else is going to work.
That's
um,
that's we put that. I said that from the beginning. I said, I'm pretty sure Mondays are going to be our slow days here. The bowling alley's closed. Like we don't have much going on. Why don't we just close on Mondays so that it's our relax?
yeah, especially because Saturday, Sunday being busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you had that control, that ability
Yes.
to do
Yes.
that.
The ability. There you go. There's another thing about following your dreams and passion is you have the ability to control what you do and where you go a lot of the times. I mean, not fully. There's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be someone that I guess not so much has control, but that needs you,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, because everybody, you're in business for yourself. People, and plus just this whole topic of dreams. Um, some people aren't going to be doing this as their career. It could be, they want to travel more. That's always been their dream.
Yep.
It can be little dreams that I want people to also take away from listening to you and your story. I want them to I want them to get golden nuggets from you, not necessarily based on your situation with being owning your own barbecue place. It's like it's the persistence, it's the benefits.
Another thing that I would like to add is during this journey of pursuing my dream, I did get to do a lot of traveling and see a lot of the country. Going along with these barbecue guys, I got to go see York, Pennsylvania, all up and down Florida, Indiana, Sturgis, South Dakota, Mount Rushmore. You
Wow.
know, there's all kinds of stuff I got to go see just pursuing my passion, pursuing my dream,
Okay, so other
and learning at the same time.
wow. I mean, what more? Yeah, there's so many benefits that you didn't even count on that.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't even on
And
your.
I know a lot of people who take all of that for granted. To be very honest, people that I work with out on the road, they
Mhm.
really just used it as, oh, this is my paycheck to, go around and make a few dollars and, I'm gonna get off at the next stop type thing.
Isn't that so? These were other people that were doing the same thing as you.
Yep, yep. We
Isn't
would
that
hire people in different towns and they would travel with us for a little while and some of them would continue with us and other one would, oh no, I'm gonna go back home now. So this isn't for me.
so? It's interesting how everybody has their own dream, and you could have like 20 people doing the same thing, and they're all going to have their own reaction to it.
Right, right, right.
And nobody's reaction's wrong. It's just like finding what clicks, what's
What works for you?
yeah, what excites you. And yeah, not even thinking all the steps further down, just so like paying attention to how you feel, that excitement
Yeah,
must be a really good indicator to, hey, that might be something I should, check out more.
yeah. Like I can honestly say I wouldn't I wouldn't put it past me to eventually take this whole, like, of course have a permanent location, but go back on the road and do barbecue on my own and travel, you know, be able to feed more people. So my dream doesn't end here.
Okay, yeah, it's just another layer that'll keep.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so you're busy. I mean, do you have any other dreams that are percolating?
Um, well, one thing I like to do is paint. I've started trying to paint like Bob Ross type paintings.
Really?
Yes, just
Okay, I just
I'm
like
a huge fan of Bob Ross.
okay.
I try to watch his show on occasion. And like I've actually, hold on, I'll get one.
Okay. Who would have thought?
So this is one that I did,
Oh my. Oh
and it's like
wow.
you gotta fill in the lines, so it's not like you're doing it all freehand or anything. But
Okay.
you gotta pick the colors and actually, blend them
I
in and everything like that.
I
So
love the colors. I love the
yeah,
concept too. I mean, I love trees and, the outdoors like that. So you did that just plain blank canvas?
no, I have a whole Bob Ross like book that they actually have like pre-printed paintings that you can do. They're just black and white, lined paintings, and
Okay.
you go in and actually add color to them. So I'm
Wow.
starting that way because I'm not, the best at the definitive part yet. So I'm
That's
just learning. But, I got to start somewhere.
well, and that's another part with adults. You get out of college if you went to college, and if you didn't go to college, well, then after high school, there just comes at this point where most adults just stop learning, and they don't, unless it's job related, and they have to learn how to do something because of the job. And it just seems like a lot of times adults don't take on learning something new, just especially something just for the fun of it for themselves,
Yes.
because you got to start from the beginning point, and you're going to suck. Not that you're
Right.
you're you know you're no you're I
Definitely.
I didn't mean your painting sucked at all. I
No,
I
no,
thought it was gorgeous.
that's like that was like hours of like, oh, I don't know about that. I gotta redo that, and I'd like go over it with different color to try and blend it. And so
Yeah.
no,
Okay, but you were patient with yourself and you understood that you're not going to be a Bob Ross right away. But
right.
I'm imagining that there must be something that's still propelling you to go through that learning phase before until you get to that end point that you want to get to.
Um, I think my life has just been that way where I've always had to learn to
Mm.
adapt and overcome. So like obviously I'm not going to be the best painter right off the bat, but I can adapt and figure out what blending shade I need to use or what brush tip I might need to use to get it to look somewhat right.
Well, it sounds like you're really patient too, you know, patient with yourself and the whole learning process. It's not your first rodeo.
Again, I've had to have so much patience in my life. Just every little thing that it's been one of those anytime something can go wrong, it may go wrong for me and it most likely will. And I have to figure out what to do next. So only over the past like couple of years have things finally like started to look up and up and up. So
Okay, well,
don't get me
good.
wrong, there's still the downs. There's still, things that go wrong and things that happen. But I can actually see some traction moving forward.
Awesome. It sounds like you've got the right attitude to, a helpful attitude to get you through those growing pains. Also, that helps. Um,
Stay
oh,
positive.
yes, and not that you don't have your, frustrating times, but
Yep.
yeah. So, is there anything else that you can think of as far as, uh, like, let's say there's, somebody that's listening on here right now, and they're scared about pursuing their dream, or they don't even know if they have any, or like, what's the point? Is there some piece of advice or something that you would want to just share with them?
First of all, you're your biggest critic. So get past yourself and it becomes a lot easier. Let other people review your stuff or review whatever you're looking at. Get other people's opinions, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because your opinion is always going to be the roughest. And that I think shuts a, just from my experiences, yourself shuts down a lot of your passions and a lot of your dreams.
Mm.
Um, if you can have the confidence to show someone else your work, I bet I bet it's going to be a lot easier for you to pursue your passion and your dream.
Yeah, you are so right there. We've got that always negative chatterbox in our head, or the negative messages. That's really, and sometimes just getting outside our head and hearing somebody else's view that we trust,
Yes,
somebody that we trust, and yeah, they could just save that dream, or nurture. They would be the better one to nurture our dreams than what we realize.
right.
Yeah. Thank you
That's
for
one
that.
big thing is just get past yourself and let someone else give you their opinion.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Um, well, then, I want to just thank you for your time. This has been awesome. I don't know if I might be like going back to part two for, different people and catching up on, where they are now, how things are, wherever we might have a part two. I don't know.
Sure, sure.
But thanks, Bill. It was awesome. And I really appreciate your valuable, just your viewpoint and your experience sharing it with us. So thank you. Okay, everybody, wasn't that awesome? Um, it's so energizing hearing a person talk about something that they just love doing, and it's just a natural extension of themselves, and that it is possible to find that, and just turning off that, critical thinking about ourselves in our head. That's what's needed to try to nurture those dreams that we've got for ourselves. So thanks for joining again, and I look forward to the next time that I'll have with you. Thank you.